the left is trying to do is broaden out the term great replacement theory to include any sort of normal concerns about illegal immigration, any suggestions that demographic voting patterns make a difference, which of course, everybody both left and right knows that they do.
That was Ben Shapiro, who dismissed criticism from the left regarding the Buffalo shooting that left 10 people dead over the weekend, and that shooting was racially motivated. The racial motivation was white replacement theory, the belief that white people are being replaced by people of color in the country, and the individuals who believe in this want to purge America of people of color, so this will become a white ethno-state. Now, Ben Shapiro is under the impression, it's unfortunate, that the mainstream Republican Party doesn't believe in this, that mainstream Republican voters don't believe in this. And he is mistaken, and I'll give him the evidence in just a minute. But first, let's hear a little more from Ben Shapiro.
If you want to talk about the great replacement theory and what this person actually thought, you have to actually read the manifesto, and you actually have to know what the great replacement theory is. The great replacement theory is the theory that essentially there are a bunch of Jewish elites, and this coterie of Jewish elites wishes to pervert the racial stock of a country like the United States, a predominantly white country, in order to weaken the country from within. That is the great replacement theory. It is not concerns about illegal immigration. It is not concerns about cultural assimilation. The great replacement theory is the idea there can never be cultural assimilation. The great replacement theory is the idea that racism, that race is destiny. In fact, the racial essentialism of great replacement theory looks a lot more like wokeism than it does like mainstream conservatism or mainstream liberalism. Neither of the two major Democratic parties is a believer that simply because you are of a particular race, this means that you are inherently genetically designed in order to vote a particular way. That is relegated to the wokest left, and it's relegated to the white supremacist right.
You know, it is impressive how every conservative in the country can somehow weave in the word woke or wokeism in any political issue, even when it has nothing to do with so-called wokeism. What are you talking about? How is this in any way tied to wokeism? We're talking about a guy who wrote a 180-page manifesto, of which I read every word, including all the weaponry stuff he had toward the end, and there is nothing in there that's woke, not even close to woke.
No, but Anna.
Wokeism, how is this wokeism?
No, but it's the exact opposite. Wokeism is, hey, understand the institutional racism that happened in this country and the discrimination that minorities have had to suffer. This guy says, let's kill the minorities.
That's exactly right.
If anything, it's sleepism. I mean, it's the very exact opposite of wokeism. But it doesn't matter. Both Shapiro and Tucker Carlson have realized their audience is filled with wall-to-wall schmucks. They could tell them anything and they would believe it. And so all they have to do is blame anything on the left and anything on wokeism.
They're not schmucks. They believe in it. They believe in it, Cenk. They believe in the replacement theory. I think Ben Shapiro does represent old school Republican ideology. Okay, I do think that. I think that he has, in some ways, provided cover for the most nefarious elements of the current Republican Party. But I think overall, he finds all of this stuff pretty horrendous. And by the way, the manifesto included a photo of Ben Shapiro calling him a Jewish rat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Shapiro does not subscribe to this garbage. Okay, so I wanna be fair to him. But at the same time, he's also delusional about where the Republican Party is right now, and he needs to wake up about that. Okay, so he wants to say that like this is because he's different from Tucker Carlson in that he rejects this, he rejects white replacement theory, and believes that it is not in any way indicative of the current mainstream Republican Party. That is not true. It is, and we have evidence of that.
Yeah. No, look, I don't know if Ben Shapiro is a master at lying to himself or lying to his audience, okay? But when you say he doesn't believe in the replacement theory, I totally agree, okay? Because the replacement theory says the Jews did it. Ben is not that nuts, okay? He is not anti-Semitic, obviously, okay? And not just because he's Jewish, but because of all the things that he has said, okay? So you could say a lot of things about Ben, but that's not among them. Okay, but does he aid and abet those monsters? Definitely.
Okay, we agree.
Definitely.
On that. We agree on that. We agree on that.
And so he says he tells himself pretty little lies. He said right there, and he tells his audience lies all the time. Oh, neither major party is in favor of this. Wait a minute. First of all, the Southern strategy was the Republican Party about 50 years ago saying, oh, the Democrats passed the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. Now a lot of racists in the South are disgruntled with the Democratic Party. So we are going to go try to get those white racist voters in the South. It's the Southern strategy. Two different heads of the Republican Party have apologized for an avowedly racist strategy that they did. So don't come tell us that the two parties are the same and neither one is racist. That's a flat out lie. And Ben knows that. He covers for Republican racism thinking, oh, it won't blow back on me. Well, ask your friend Dave Rubin if you get blowback or not from the vicious racists and bigots that you actively support every single day.
So let's get to what Republican voters believe today, specifically about replacement theory. Okay, Republican voters, this is based on an Associated Press NORC Center poll for public affairs. And here's what we know. Let's take a look at this graph. So it shows that these numbers represent individuals who either strongly agree or are extremely concerned, or somewhat agree and are somewhat concerned that white people are being replaced in the country, okay? There is a group of people in this country who are trying to replace native-born Americans with immigrants who agree with their political views. Notice that the number is very high for Republican voters, about 47%, nearly 50% of whom believe that white people are being replaced with people of color, okay? By the way, let me just be clear about one other thing. The number is uncomfortably high for me when it comes to Democrats. That's a pretty disgusting and significant portion of Democrats who tend to believe the same thing. So I don't want to leave that alone. I want to make sure we talk about that as well.
For our podcast audience, I just want to be clear. Overall, Democrats are about 22% believe that theory, which is stunningly high.
Right.
Overall, it's about 32% of all Americans. That's a third of all Americans who believe this, like, ridiculously racist theory, and nearly half, 47% of Republicans fully believe this viciously racist conspiracy theory. And by the way, viciously anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. And Ben Shapiro comes on and does cover for them and goes, oh, look away, don't worry about the anti-Semitism. It doesn't exist, It's just a minor little fringe thing. No. Ben, half of your audience believes it.
Okay, so let me give you more, because it's always important to take a step back and look at overall trends, right? Rather than just point to anecdotal evidence. Now that we've shown you a poll giving you that trend, let's go to anecdotal stuff, all right? So Matt Gaetz is a pretty prominent Republican lawmaker, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so one person who loves to spew the white replacement theory regularly is Tucker Carlson. Last year, Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz defended Tucker Carlson spewing that rhetoric on his show. Let's go to graphic 3 here. Tucker Carlson is correct about replacement theory. He used the words as well as he explains what is happening to America. The Anti-Defamation League is a racist organization, he argues. And then you have Elise Stefanik, who's another Republican lawmaker out of New York, who had political ads just saying the same garbage. So a series of Facebook ads published in September of 2021 by Stefanik's campaign committee charged that Democrats were allowing undocumented immigrants into the US as a ploy to outnumber and eventually silence Republican voters. And here's what her ad said specifically: radical Democrats are planning their most aggressive move yet, a permanent election insurrection, reads one of the ads, which shows a reflection of migrants in sunglasses Biden is wearing. Their plan to grant amnesty to 11 million illegal immigrants will overthrow our current electorate and create a permanent liberal majority in Washington. She knew what she was doing with that rhetoric as well. Come on.
As we've said 100 times, why don't you actually try to win over immigrant voters? The reason why they don't want to win over immigrant voters is because the Republican Party is for white people. Otherwise, you'd say, oh, Catholic Latinos coming into the country, who a lot of them are conservative by nature, looking for economic opportunity, that when I came to the country, we were Republicans because of that ideology. Why am I no longer a Republican? They drove us away with a stick. They said, we hate all Muslims. We want to ban all of them from the country. Well, how the hell are we supposed to stay in a party that despises us? So it would be so easy for Republicans to get so many immigrant voters, but they don't want them because they're an all-white party. They want just white power. And so when Ben Shapiro says outrageous lies, like you saw in that clip when he says, no, the replacement theory isn't about illegal immigration. Come on, man, that is such a ridiculous, outrageous lie.
And let's also address the fact that when the Trump administration was doing away with the legal means to immigrate to the United States, Ben Shapiro had no problem with that. In fact, he was very supportive of that. So doing away with forms of legal immigration and then turning around and going after illegal immigration. I mean, what do you think the whole objective is there?
Yeah, by the way, I mean,
to prevent immigration into the country, period. Do away with the legal means and then do what you can to stop them coming in illegally as well. And then that stops immigration into the United States. Gee, I wonder why.
To show you how absolutely despicably craven Ben Shapiro is, after Donald Trump said about the Nazis who chanted, "The Jews will not replace us," Shapiro was mad, okay? And Shapiro said, no, this is bad, etc. And then Trump said there are good people on both sides, the Nazi side and the non-Nazi side. And you know what Shapiro did? Oh, all my money's coming from right-wingers who hate Jews. Sure, yes, of course, Trump is great. Trump is great. You pathetic human being.